What's going on, y'all? It's Monday and time to get moving on something else. So y'all may have seen this in the background of some of my other videos. This is my 1986 Dodge Ram W150. It's a 150 custom, badge says. Long bed, obviously, and as the W stands for in the nomenclature, it is four-wheel drive. Pretty straight old truck. It has the typical rust over the rear wheel wells. Cab corners are solid on both sides. See the door lips bent a little bit. I think it might be indicative of it needs some door pins. Yeah, could use some door pins. The only body damage on the whole truck, this dent right here, which me and Luke worked on a little bit a while back. We stuck a deflated football in the inner fender there, pumped it up, and tried to get as much of that out as possible, but kind of just is what it is. I've passively been looking for a replacement fender in the same two-tone blue and white paint combo. I found a couple, but none close enough that are convenient for me to go get, because I don't care that much. Maybe you can tell. The surface rust is shiny. That's because earlier this year, we bombed this whole truck in like, I don't know, 2 or 3 coats of spray can clear. I put a new grill and new headlight buckets in it. Looks pretty good. These are not the wheels that were on it when I got it. They were the very Ford-looking, kind of swoopy, gray-looking wheels. They look like they come off a 90s Ford truck. If you know these, you know what I'm talking about. So I had these off of another first-gen Dodge, and I just wire brushed them, painted them white, and put the tires I had, these little 31 1050 all-terrains, back on it. Looks decent. I like it, but I think we can get it looking a whole lot cooler. Take a look at the inside. Blue interior to match the outside. It's a little, worse for wear. The seat, pretty wallered out. I think there's, one portion there where there's so much foam gone, you can see through the seat, and there's exposed spring. Other than that, interior's not too bad. Dash is nice, which a lot of people act confused or surprised when they see a first-gen Dodge with a nice dash. Just so you know, second-gen Dodge Rams and third-gen Dodge Rams are the ones with the dash issues. First-gen Dodge Rams are generally always pretty solid, made out of a different plastic. I haven't really done much in here other than I did change the radio. This is a factory Chrysler radio, as you can tell with the Pentastar, but this radio is out of a 90s van or town and country minivan. It was plug and play, went right back in the same hole, wiring harness was the same, all that. And I'd done that because I wanted to maintain a stock-ish appearance, but with the ability of playing CDs and tapes, which our original AM/FM radio would not allow. What else we got? That's pretty much it. I mean, it's really basic old truck, but it's a really cool old truck that means a lot to me. It means a lot to me personally. I've had this truck for a couple of years now, and this truck come about in a really troubled time in my life. I had a lot going on, and it was pretty bad. And my truck I had been driving, it was a second-gen Dodge. I think it was the one with the 318? It was like a 96 extended cab, four-wheel drive, 318 Ram that the motor blowed up in it. I gave like $900 for the truck or whatever. And my parents was lending me my sister's, this is before she could drive, 99 Grand Cherokee, which I was driving to work. I was working at the Dodge dealership at the time. I needed a ride, needed something of my own. I had a little Honda Civic, and something happened with the Civic. I couldn't drive it anymore. That's a whole nother thing. I won't get into that. but got rid of the Civic, and I needed a ride. I was not in the best of headspace, but I always wanted, I've had a bunch of these first-gen Rams over the years, but never a four-wheel drive, and I always wanted a four-wheel drive long bed. And I found this one. It was like 40 minutes away, 45 minutes away, still fairly local. Turns out the truck was bought brand new at the dealership I worked at the time, and I have a stack of paperwork for this thing from the original owner till now. Service records, being from that dealership, the salesman's information, the warranty information, every used dealership it was in and out of after the fact. And but I didn't quite have enough money, so my dad, being the guy he is, he I don't know how I don't think he really knew how to help me through what I was dealing with at the time. So he helped me in the only way he knew how, and he helped me get this truck. I think the dude wanted like $3,000 for this truck, and I had like half of it, and Dad gave me the other half. And I knew from the time we went and looked at it, I was in love with this truck. This thing is just absolutely awesome. At the time, it was all original motor, original transmission, 360, automatic 727. We fiddled with it for a while, and either it got really loaded down with gas or coolant got in the oil. Either coolant or fuel or both got into the oil and started knocking. So the 360 was no good anymore. So I had a good 318 sitting around that come out of my 71 Charger. Swapped those out this past winter. Put the 318 in this, and I was driving it for a while. I guess when I took the torque converter out to knock the counterweight off, because it had a 360, those are externally balanced, so knock the counterweight off the torque converter. I guess when I put it back, I must have tore the seal on the front pump of the transmission, because now it just pukes transmission fluid. So that's why it's been sitting most of this year and I ain't been driving it. Are we going to fix that now? Right now? Like now? No, we're not. Let me show you what I've got in mind here. So this is the plan. I've always had a vision for this truck. Given the emotional deep dive I just ran it to you about, it's obvious I'll never get rid of this truck. So this is the plan. We have lifting blocks for the rear. We have lifting leaf springs for the front. We have new eyelet bushings for said leaf springs and new U-bolts, longer ones, to go along with the blocks. That's what we're gonna do. We're effectively gonna put this thing about probably 4 inches higher up in the air. I do have wheels and tires for this. You'll see that later. They are super sick. And here's the 318. It's not really anything special. I don't even know what it come out of. I do know that it was in my 71 Charger when I got it. And we got the thing running, and it always seemed to run good. No ticks, knocks, smoke, anything like that. I mean, nothing more than your typical old small block Chrysler. A little bit noisy, but you know, when they warm up, they quiet down. Man, we did a lot to this thing. Radiator hoses. I think I had to get a brand new oil pan for this because I didn't have a 318 truck pan. I had a couple 360 truck pans, but not a 318 one. Man, I put a new blower motor in it, new heater hoses, new heater core. This thing's got kicking heat. Oh, there is a battery in it. Good. Oh, that's nice. I must have changed the ground wire on it and had a red one, so whatever. I wonder if this battery's any good. I don't know. I don't even know if it's got even enough transmission fluid in it to move it around in front of the garage. I guess we'll see. Alright, I guess let's check the fluids in this thing. And we'll see if this battery's got any juice, and we'll crank it up and move it around in front of the garage. Get to working on it. I needed to move it anyway, because Dad wants to sell this Honda. So, and this is all up in the way. Pop the hood on it. Remember how I said we ought to appreciate all of God's creations, and he's constantly showing us how awesome he is through his creations and critters and stuff. There's a lot of critters, I don't know what they do, okay, and I'll be honest about that, and I don't know what service they provide to the ecosystem. Some are more obvious than others, but these I wonder about. Wasps. You see that? See that big nest there? You see that little boy just wiggling his, whoa, hey now. Wiggling his little walking sticks. We might have to just evict them and kind of let them relocate and sort themselves out before we mess with this anymore. But we ain't here for this anyway. We're here for the truck. Let's check all our fluids and get this thing moving. Alright, it's got oil. Not here any coolant sloshing when I squeeze the tube. Oh yeah, that's another problem with this thing. I forgot about that. So I've changed 1, 2, like 3 or 4 freeze plugs on this motor. Yeah, I know I should have changed them before I put the motor in, but yeah, hindsight. Unfortunately, 2 of those freeze plugs I changed was the ones on either head on the back, and I couldn't get proper freeze plugs in them without pulling the motor or, you know, dropping the transmission or something. So I put expansion plugs in them, and they haven't leaked. But it wasn't long after that coolant started leaking between the transmission and the block as well, indicative of, well, freeze plugs on the back of the block is probably leaking too. Another reason we need to pull the transmission out, but not today. We ain't going far with it, so coolant's not a huge deal. Good on motor oil though. I'm about positive that there ain't no, good on power steering, about positive there hardly ain't no transmission fluid in this thing. But hopefully there's enough that we can get it pulled around in front of the garage. All the other fluid's pretty good. Do but try it. Found our keys, so let's have at it.
Someone she could cover on.
Oh, Billy Ray, why do you confound me so?
Until she walked out of too late. She's not crying. She ain't like where am I gonna live when I get home? Things slow down everything out. She meant what she said. She wished I was dead. So where am I gonna live on?
Runs good. Needs exhaust, but it runs good. Get this mess cleaned up a little bit so we can get it on the pavement at least. DeWalt impact gun quit after several years of having it for free. Back there. too bad. It's just leaf spring. All you got is one anchor on either side, just an anchor. Probably get a jack and go into the axle. As soon as it's gonna right on. Ah, see if y'all do any better than that. I got, I guess, the right size first try. How about that? And what am I gonna take it off with? The impact gun quit. You missed the impact gun quitting, Luke. Luke's videoing for me. Oh, man, that's nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
On there.
Horn. Deep well. Where'd you leave it last time you used it, Luke?
It's gone. Oh. Don't scratch it.
Yeah.
You didn't shut the door all the way.
Yeah. Be alright.
Somebody might steal it.
You might get it and crank it up and drive it away. Back to business. On there.
Get the ratchet. It's gonna get looser.
On there. It's swivel. Luke would just love to get on camera me eating the big one for y'all.
I'm hoping for it.
Yeah. No! It's on there. They like wanted to start coming off, but then they didn't. I swear, I don't think this thing's as powerful as the electric one. 12 years since I put a lift kit on, almost 13. And I forgot how much it sucks. You got big Mondo hardware on here that ain't been off of the truck since it was new on the assembly line, and it don't want to come off.
Where's the torch at?
Torch. Don't want a torch. Win a little bit more. Put the jack back up there.
I didn't turn it.
Yeah, you did, because it's on the ground. Legs are little. It's on there now.
Pipe.
Pipe.
Getting his money's worth out of that Harbor Freight ratchet right there.
Oh yeah. Every bit of my $10. Actually, I think it may have been 15. Spare no expense here. Yeah, this is a lot of work to make this truck absolutely useless.
I told you that.
But it's gonna look cool. You should check turning it around in the back. Oh, we're turning it. It's begrudgingly going, but it's going. It's gonna come off first. Whether it likes it or not. Like this jacket. I'm getting a little worm. Oh, stepped on duck. Oh, boy. I'm getting a fresh knockoff Zen. Luke, you remember that time you drilled my hand? Luke drilled my hand before. This hand.
It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, it's totally on purpose. You're hogging out a hole in a piece of that metal strap stuff that's got a bunch of holes in it. You hang exhaust with. I don't remember what we was using it for. Something on an old 87 Firebird. And I was holding it because the hole wasn't big enough, and Luke just...
They used that to hold the fuel tank up.
Yeah, I was using it to hold the fuel tank. And he was just going at it with his hog bit on his drill, dude. And the freaking bit just caught that thing and tornadoed it up around my finger. And, like, just shredded my thumb, dude. It, like, either took all the nail off or, like, a big part of it. It sucked. That really hurt.
It wasn't that bad.
On the scale of my friends hurting me, it may not be as up there as the time Jordan set me on fire. Like my face and everything. Like I had to hit the ground and stop, drop, and roll, and he got the hose and soaked me down, and then Jenna came out there like, oh my God, he's on fire! Need more fire. You have a good poop today?
I did.
Good.
Yep.
Glad. I did too, right before you got here. Wasn't sticky or runny. Solid. Didn't wipe forever. Dude,
It's pretty gross.
yeah.
Definitely have to edit that out. That's too gross.
Ooh, that stinks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ah, there we go. Ooh. He's a little bent. Ooh, it's hot. Ooh. That washer touched my finger. I'm gonna lay this in the bed so I don't lose it.
Still gonna lose it.
Yeah, probably so. Who's your daddy? Never stop amazing me that no matter how much stuff like this you do, before you start it, you got all the parts. You're looking at it, you're like, okay, that's not complicated. This is gonna be easy. This is gonna not take long at all. And then it's not like that. It takes forever, and it's rather difficult. And yet you keep coming back for more.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I'm referring to Jacob's experience with the ladies.
Yeah. Don't be me.
Never learns.
No, I don't. Stay. If you're in church, stay in church. If you're not in church, go to church, please. And date like properly, because I can tell you, buddy, if you don't, babies, no wife, life's hard. Heartache. Arguments. Vibing. Lots of vibing. They like vibing, buddy. If she tells you she's not happy and she just wants to do her own thing and vibe, just let her go, bud. Don't ask no questions. Don't start pulling strings. You're only gonna get your feelings hurt. Probably heard this before, but I'll trust one lug nut on this wheel before I'll trust he's just a friend. They're never just friends. It's still hot. Smoking. I didn't even put the torch on that one, I don't think.
Friction.
Residual physics. Can't touch it! Oh, we bend it straight. I need a 13/16 wrench. Knees. Sorry, 3/11/16, but not 13/16. Yeah. Position. So. Alright. What does that take? It's out of there. Like this. Out of there. Alright, now I've got to dig one out of the bed that's going to replace that. It's hopefully a little more, you know, because that one's kind of. Can't find that. Looks right to me, look right to you. New bushings. I got them. Energy suspension polyurethane. Supposed to be this stuff. Oh, we even got Looby Goob to stick them on in there.
Is there a sticker?
No, I've done rummage through the box for stickers and there wasn't none. Man, that makes me mad. You know, that's about, if you're going to sell supposedly performance parts, we all expect there to be a sticker in it. You know, to stick on somewhere. Put a sticker in there. We're paying like, I think that was like 20, 30 bucks. Just a little plastic bush, maybe even 40 bucks. You just stuck a sticker in there for me. Whatever. I ain't gonna be bitter about it, you know. It is what it is. Ah, there.
Oh.
About done it. Liquid.
It's not liquid enough.
Nope, it's not. Nope, it's metal sleeves. Take it to the bench vise. How about that? After long fought, arduous drudgery, we got the old ones out. The new ones that go in. We're gonna sauce it up. Sauce it up. Sauce it up with the grease. Look like the stuff you put on a toaster strudel. Gross.
This would be a handy job for a press.
It would, wouldn't it?
It's weird. I mean, a really good job for a press. Oh God, dude. Back up on that one.
A lot easier to take the metal sleeve out of it. Probably should have done that all along. Maybe use a little actual grease. Oh, that's a lot more slicker. That glue thing. It's much better. Trial and error. Sometimes it's a lot more error, unfortunately. We'll just see if that works.
Probably not.
Probably not. Coming out. Might booger up threads anyway. No. Look. No.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? About all the way through. Battery's dead. Grab another one from over there.
Oh.
Grab the. Oh man, the bean giver's out there in the charger. But safety on that thing. Alright. It's tomorrow. Today. What is tomorrow but today's tomorrow's yesterday. It's today. And Luke ain't here to boot her on me today. But after he left, the camera died. So, you know, we got a little bit done that y'all didn't see, but to be honest with you, you ain't missing much. Yes, I know, it needs rotors. I did get this spring in. It's solid mounted to the truck. I have not bolted it to the axle because I got to have that play there to get the other side loose and that spring in. So that's what we're about to do now. I still have to take the passenger side spring out. I've got the axle loose from it, obviously, so we just gotta get the bolts out, drop this spring down, get the bolt hanger Johnny off that side. Hopefully that one ain't as bad as the other side. That was a fight, but I ain't too hopeful. Get that out, get our new spring over here, get the bushings in it, get it all back, just like the other side. And y'all saw everything we did on that side. It's just gonna be the same thing over here, so we'll probably just skip forward. Well, I thought this side was gonna be a clean cut duplicate of the other side, but here's the sit rep. I had to cut the spring there, and I can't get this hanger bolt bit out because the exhaust is in the way. So we're gonna have to maybe cut the eyelet of this spring on the bottom with the grinder and just get it off, and then try to do the same with the bushing, I guess. And I don't know about that one. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. I'm still stewing on it. But yeah, this is where we're at, and it's not great. But hey, at least the shocks are worn out. See how I compressed it and it didn't pull out on its own? Yeah, that's fantastic. I may have burnt the bolt up here, but it's coming out. I guess we'll see what happens. It's going. Oh, there it is. Great success. Yeah, we may have to take a file to this bolt and see if we can clean up the threads on it. How well you can see that. She's kind of boogered. That ain't no good, but the nut ain't much better for the wear neither. Boy. Alright, we got our bolt done, boogie, which consisted of a little bit of filing and a whole lot of just jamming the nut on there and hitting it with the impact and running it back and forth, but it'll work. And I cleaned it up with a wire wheel. Yeah, alright, so now we're going to get our spring, our new spring in here and get the new bushings in it. And, yeah. Alright. Luckily, the old bushings is out of this one, so that ought to be fairly easy. I learned a little technique last time, yesterday with the other ones. What we'll do is we'll take the metal sleeve out and we'll mash the rubber in there first and then smack the sleeve through it. And instead of using that goop they sent me with it, we're going to use actual axle grease. I think that'll make it a whole lot easier. Gross. I can stuff them in there by hand like that. Alright, now flip this thing on over. Okay, now what I'll do with that, there it is. Little sleeve. Rag. Rubber mallet. In there. Take the metal sleeve out of this one. Grease. And in there. Metal sleeve, grease, hammer. In there. Come on now. Tighten that one back there and get the axle up. Well, maybe we ought to get the axle up and mounted and then tighten that one back there. What do you think? That's nice. I wonder if the U-bolt's long enough. Pull a little sneaky and grind away some of the plate there, get a little bit more thread engagement out of it. I think that's what we're going to do. The back hole's pretty good thread engagement. I could probably live with that. But the front, we'll have to work on a little bit. A little bit more. See what that's like. Yeah. Joke's on me, the stud on the bottom of the leaf springs ain't long enough. These shims must be for the back. Probably gonna have to get longer U-bolts for the front at some point. But for right now, we got what we got. We can always change that later. Shocks are worn out too. And we need longer ones, but we ain't got them right now. So again, got what we got. Need swivels over yonder. There you go. Now we gotta jack up this side, get that shock back connected. Oh. Front's done for now. And just like that, front is done. Now it's tooted. Tooted. Let's pull it out, see how bad it is. We gotta turn it around and do the back anyway. He squatted a little bit. Maybe it ain't quite as big of a lift as I thought it was gonna be. It might just be a 4. I think that might just be a 4-inch. But it's up there. Real dramatic on this side. Alright, let's get it backed in and do the back. Get rid of this squat. Alright, so we got the back jacked up. And on jack stands. Oh, excuse me. Sure enough, left my light sitting over there. Okay. This is what we're contending with. U-bolts. I should have sprayed them down with PB Blaster before I ate supper, but I didn't. So let's do that. Hopefully we won't have to use much heat or rigmarole to get them things undone. And it should be pretty straightforward. Just get them undone, take the slide old block out, slip the new block in. Might be able to use these U-bolts, I don't know. And if not, I've got other U-bolts we can try. So let's get after it, see what we can do here. My PB Blaster's quitting on me. What the heck? Ain't no good. It's like a bunch of fluid coming out. What the heck? It's all over my hands. Hopefully these just come off. Hey, what do you know? It just come off. I thought for sure it was gonna be like super hateful. Of course, that don't mean the other 3 ain't gonna be. How about that? Oh yeah, we won't have to take shocks loose. I forgot the rear ends of these is much like the Mopar muscle cars. Like his Charger over here behind me, or the other Charger, or the half dozen other Chargers, and other in the Cuda and the Satellite, and the other ones back here, and then the surprise car that I ain't showed you yet. Very, very similar. The rear end's just dangling. Got that off. Oh, I might need to let the rear end down a little bit, and maybe that block will just come on out of there. Oh my god. Let it down more. That's getting that one nut that wouldn't come off the thing. We'll lose our hardware now. Where's our ratchet? Yeah. I think we might just have to go on and undo the other side before we can get anywhere. That's right. Get me a sip of water and a velo. See if this comes off nice. Gross. Look at that, come right off there. That's nice. It's nice when that happens. It don't happen enough. Out of there. Of course, there's always gotta be one on both sides that just don't wanna come off. Whatever, man. Be like that. These shocks need to be replaced too. Figured on that, but you know. Still not surprising. Alright. Be like that then. Maybe we'll let the air compressor pump up. And maybe adapt the pressure on it. Or I'll just go ahead and grab the ratchet. off there. Out of there. What do I do with the doggone? I don't think I got it out of bed. Gotta get that other shim wire brush or something on that. It ain't gonna do right. That's better. I don't think drive shaft angle's gonna be a problem, so I might just leave them shims out of there. Alright, so we'll put that like that. And let's see how these U-bolts fall. Alright, I think we can use these U-bolts. That's even better. So that way we ain't yeah. You know what I mean? Because the other U-bolts, like, they were a little wide. There'd been a gap between the side of the U-bolt and the leaf spring. Wouldn't fit quite as tight as I would like, so I think this will be a whole lot better. And you know, it's cool when you forget to put this thing on there. That's cool. Love that. So now you gotta, balls. That's nice. Just love that. Yeah. Okay. See, now I don't know. Better leaf spring. Thread engagement. It's a problem. I mean, we really need that plate up there. I mean, it's there for a reason. Obviously. Why don't we just put these on without the washers, like we done on the front? I mean, that'd probably be alright. What you think? Yeah, about, you know, I'm kinda sure of it. Come on now. It's always the same one that's a pain to get on. It's the same way with the cars. The way this shock plate's made, like the way this bit folds down on this back corner to go to the part where the shock mounts. It's like you can't. There we go, finally. One more. Okay, that's started, and then there we ain't gonna tighten it up just yet. Let's get the other side on. Oh yeah, we still gotta get that loose. Joy. Maybe we get it in there. Oh, we're gonna have to take that loose. Okay. Alright, well. Might need the pipe for this one. It's coming off there. Alright. Off of there. Another block. Jack it up. Try that. Jack it up there, and then just turn the block. Yeah. Oh, all right. Where's? There. All right. Got them started. We're gonna jack it up, get every bit of slop and gap out of here, get a little bit more thread engagement on our U-bolt. All right. Let's get the air gun, get them tight. Ow! Oh, y'all missed that. I just racked my noggin on the wheel loop. tighten up this one over here. That's that. Now I just gotta get it up a little bit more and get the wheels back on. Ah, my hip. Ah, that's it. Oh. Well, I don't know. It's really all that much more up there than it was, to be honest with you. I wonder if I was supposed to stack M blocks on top of these blocks. I don't really know. I wouldn't think you'd be supposed to stack M blocks. And it might be a combination of them leaf springs on the backs wore out too. Because it don't look much different in the back. Yeah, it's them rear leaf springs is just sagged out and wore out is what it is. Because the one on the passenger side rear is higher than the driver's side rear. So the truck's like canted, you know. Otherwise, if them rear leaf springs was new or still in good shape, it'd probably be about level. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. But might have to get some helper springs or some airbags or air shocks or something for the back. That's, you know, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, that spring's got like, it's kind of flat, if not bowed up a little bit, right in there. But we come over here to the passenger side, and it's a, you know, it's a little more like it's supposed to be. So I think some helper springs or some air shocks would really help this thing out, because the front is just noticeably higher than the back. We might have to come up with some springs or something for the rear. Alright, so these are our tires. I do have all four. The other two still around back. These are BF Goodrich mud terrain TAs. And I have had these for several years. Bought them from a guy I used to work with for like $100. So I was gonna put them on my Bronco. And the Bronco sat there, so these just kind of sat there. They've been in the shed, but I don't know how good they are. They might be dry rotted. I don't know. You really can't tell till we get them on a wheel, get them aired up. So let's get the 33 1250s. Let's get the vacuum over here and get them leaves and junk out. And for wheels, got a set of 4. I don't remember what brand they are, but another Outlaws. 15 by 10. They look like center lines, like them drag racing wheels, like it's on the back of my Cuda. But they're not what they're called. If there's even a brand on them. Sure is, I can't see it. But Google says they're Outlaws. That's what we're gonna go with. And I think that's a good looking 80s, 90s style wheel. That'll look real good on our 86 Ram. Look period correct for it, which is what we want. We want, you know, lift, period correct 15-inch wheels on some mud boggers, eventually with like a roll bar and, you know, brush guard and KC lights. So let's see if we can't get one of these mounted and aired up and see what it looks like. See if they're dry rotted. See if I can remember how to do this. I use this manual tire changer every now and then, but it's so long between times I use it, I always forget the technique on how to do it. I don't think they're directional, so I'm just going to put them white walls out. You know, style. There's soapy water here. Makes it a little easier putting them on. Oh, bust out the hand tools. This stuff makes this job smell a whole lot better. Ow. Got all these nuts in my boot.
Oh, you keeping your nut in your boot?
Well, the bag come apart more there, and I didn't have nothing to put them in, so I stuck them in a boot. Well, I'm gonna be working back yonder here in a second. Yeah. You understand why I had to put the tires on, don't you? Yeah. I gotta get the jack out here. I don't know why you didn't back the truck up first.
I about waved you on, but I just assumed you knew what you was doing.
Well, that's just assuming too much. I'll just go on and back her up. Now. Good. That's good, Porter. I can't wait to be rolling down the road this or that with it. I'm gonna get me a gun rack to go back here.
Yeah.
Put my deer rifle in. I'm gonna
Just
take
when you
this
go
hunting.
places.
Yeah. And then wear my jean jacket and pop in a tape and.
That'd be pretty sick. I gotta take the scratch any paint in my keys.
Car show etiquette board. That's a joke. I paid 20 grand to repaint it. They took it down to the metal border. He said his sugar's high. I said, no, she's been sober 3 weeks by the grace of God. General store throwing out Bud Light beach towels. It make perfectly good window curtains if a fella knows what he's doing. I went down to the McDonald's the other day. They was playing classical music in the bathroom. I thought, oh my gosh, am I dressed up enough to piss in here? Oh, I'm almost there. You getting close? Yeah. I changed the tape out. I got the side B, but I didn't get the side A for they're on account of some inconsiderate somebody or another decided to tape a wedding remix on it, and I had to clarify it off and put my musics on there. Nobody cared about Debbie and Earl 1992. Debbie done run off and left him anyhow. Yeah. She met this other feller named Billy Jones, and apparently he's Charlie Daniels of the Torque Creek. He builds motors. There wasn't enough polyester curtains and redwood deck on that old trailer. Oh no. They had more expensive beach towels. Budweiser. Yeah. Well, here she is in the daylight. We got the wheels on her, and I will say it looks pretty good. I didn't know if it was going to be a 4-inch lift or a 6. It ended up being a 4, and that's perfect because the truck looks good, but it's still usable. It ain't so up there that it's impractical. Like, it ain't hard to get in and out of. You can still pull a trailer with it. You can still get stuff in and out of the bed easy. And them Outlaw wheels that look kind of like center lines, man, them things are sharp. They could do with some aluminum brightener. And the tires, well, the whole truck needs washing. And put some tire shine on them boys and brighten up them aluminum wheels. They look fantastic. Now, as you can notice, as you probably noticed, she's a little tooted. Yeah, well, the rear leaf springs are wore out. Putting the 4-inch lift blocks on the back put so much upward pressure in the middle of these old worn out leaf springs that it's almost kind of recurved the front of the spring where it meets close to the front spring hanger. Same on both sides. It's a little worse on the driver's side than this side, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. It's supposed to be arced down, and it's more so flat, if not arced up a hair. So I don't know what we're going to do for sure about that. I've thought about helper springs. I don't know if that would do anything or not. Like towing airbags, replacement stock shocks, and just using blocks, or just dropping the cheddar and getting some Skyjacker 4-inch lift springs for the back of this thing and just taking the blocks out of there. Just put the stock blocks back in, use actual lift springs, which would probably be the better option. I found a set of Skyjackers online for like 300 bucks. So that's probably the route we're gonna go. And to be honest with you, I was able to make them stock U-bolts work. And they might, if you go back to the stock block and just put lifting springs on it, the stock U-bolts might be fine. I'm not sure. But the front definitely needs different U-bolts. It's kind of the thread, I mean, you saw what I had to do to get hardly any thread engagement on them things. I don't know if you can see that. It needs U-bolts on the front, both sides. The thing about on the passenger side though, the hogshead of the rear end is so close to where the springs mount that the inboard side of the spring plate, they're studs that are tapped into the rear end housing. So I don't know how you go about rectifying that, and unless you drive two nuts together on them and try to extract them and get longer studs or something. I don't really know what you're supposed to do about that. But it seems like maybe I think our front brake line right there in the middle our front rubber brake line, that's going to be plenty long enough. So no worry there. The drag link that goes to the pitman arm on these Dodges, I don't know if you can see that right here, it has a universal joint on both sides. So as long as you're not going with an extremely large lift, you don't really have to do anything there. You don't have to put a drop pitman arm on it like you would say a Ford or maybe a Chevrolet. It does need new shocks. I had to disconnect the shocks to get the axle low enough to get the springs on. I compressed them and they didn't even try to push out on their own. These shocks might be original. I mean, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they were original. So we're gonna need new shocks all the way around as well. But for now, the lift is on there. The wheels and tires are on there. And the front, anyway, I'm happy with. And it's pretty much what I wanted. So we'll have to readdress this at a later time with some more parts, more money. And obviously the transmission still has to come out so we can fix that front pump seal because it's just puking fluid. And the freeze plugs on the back of the block are leaking, so we're losing coolant too. Neither one of those are good things. Those are actually both, in fact, keeping me from driving this truck, which sucks because I love driving this truck, especially during the cold months. It has kicking heat. Boy, that front looks fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted. We're also going to have to get an alignment on this thing too, as soon as I finish up all those other things. When it's ready to go back on the road, we'll have to take it up to the tire shop and get an alignment done. But that's what I always had envisioned for this truck since I've had it. It was about a 4-inch lift on 33s with a period correct wheel. And eventually we'll probably get us a roll bar with some KC lights and one of them little narrow push bars with maybe more lights on it, maybe not, but definitely the push bar and roll bar and some lights on the roll bar. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. If you enjoy what I do and you're so inclined, like, comment, subscribe. Everything helps. Every bit of interaction helps. We're trying to grow the channel and see where it takes us. God bless y'all. God bless America. And have a good one.